All right, what's going on, everyone? Happy Thursday. Let's get Closers Academy going. I'm excited for this one. We're going to be talking about recruiting. And recruiting is what completely changed my business. So I'm excited to break down how I think about recruiting, how I recruit, and how everyone, on this call can scale an agency at a very high level. We're going to be talking about recruiting today. Um, First thing I'll say is recruiting has completely changed my business. Recruiting has changed my life, has changed my business. I'm forever grateful that I view this business in a certain way. And everyone comes from, different things when they start, different mindsets. Um, I'm gonna break down to you first off, like my mindset when I started the business, my mindset towards recruiting. A lot of people, and drop a one if you struggle with recruiting right now. And I'm sure a lot of you guys do. Because I know this might sound crazy, but I sold at a high level early on, but I thought recruiting was going to be something that I struggled with. And obviously, like if you've never done something, you are going to feel like you struggle with you're not going to be able to do it, that you're going to struggle with it. But it's important to kind of learn how to do it, how to get comfortable with it. That way you can scale a business. Doing anything that you've never done before is going to be uncomfortable. Now, how I viewed recruiting when I started. A lot of people view that, I need to sell insurance and I got to sell as much insurance as possible. And then eventually, when I kind of know how to sell, like maybe I'll recruit, maybe I won't. I'll probably wait until people, really tell me how to recruit. Now, my mindset towards the business when I started was this is a business and I'm going to run the play that's going to make me the most amount of money. That's going to impact as many people as possible. So when I started, the only reason why I wanted to learn how to sell was so I can teach people how to sell. I didn't want to go out and sell 100K a month and 200K a month. And like some of the numbers that some of these people, my best personal month is 55 and a half K. My best personal month is 55 and a half K. So there are so many people that are better at selling than me. There are so many people. I was focused on learning how to sell. That way, I can teach people how to sell. So I think, in my opinion, like people need to change their mindset towards selling. Selling is amazing. You have to know how to sell. But the whole point of selling is so you learn how to sell. That way, when you teach people how to sell, or sorry, that way when you bring people in the business, you can teach them how to sell. Because I didn't want to bring people in the business and not know how to sell. I wanted to make sure my guys knew how to make money. So my mindset towards recruiting was I'm gonna learn how to sell as fast as possible. That way, when I bring people in the business, they're gonna scale, they're gonna learn how to sell, they're gonna make money. But let's be real, like no one wants to dial the phones forever. Like, and that's okay to say. Some people are scared to say that. Dude, from day one, I knew after the first day, I did not want to dial for the rest of my life. I knew for a fact I did not want to dial. So it's okay to say that. It's okay to own up to that. So now, since we don't want to dial for the rest of our life, also, if you want to make 100K a month, you better recruit. If you want to make a lot of money in this business, you're going to have to recruit. My mindset was also, let's say 1, 2, 3 years down the line, I want to take a trip or I want to do, XYZ and I don't want to work. Well, if I don't have a team, I'm not going to make any money. So let me learn how to supplement my income so I can bring people in the door, develop them, teach them exactly what I know. That way I can start to scale. Now, what a lot of people struggle with is the most important thing is getting your first five recruits. Once you get your first five, a lot changes. Now, the easiest and simplest way to get your first five recruits. And then before I preface this, I do want to say, I believe that you should start recruiting from day one. I believe you should start immediately. The reason is because it takes people, as we know, a few weeks to even start the business. They have to pass the test. They have to get their license approved. They have to get contracted. So by the time they're in the business, you're going to know how to sell. If your goal is to recruit and build a team, why are we not working on that every single day? Why are we waiting until we know how to sell? That doesn't make any sense. I thought the whole goal is to build an agency, build a team, get off the phones. Yeah, that's my goal. Okay, cool. Let me ask you a question, bro. Why aren't you working towards that every single day? you're not serious enough about getting to that goal. So first thing I'll say is you need to start recruiting immediately. Now, how do you get your first five? There's two routes. The simpler way is to recruit your warm market. Now, I say simpler. It was harder for me. It was harder for me, but you got a guy like Andrew Chen. Boy made a few calls. He got every single person he knows. That was not how it looked for me. That kid recruited literally everyone like right away, all of his boys. And some people are in those situations. Some people are not. I personally, still to this day, none of my friends that I was friends with before the business are in the business. My entire team is all built organically through social media. Now, how do you get your first five? Well, the easier way is through your warm market. Okay. And now I want to break down like what that looks like. So a lot of people are scared to call their friends. A lot of people are nervous to tell people about what they're doing. Now, at the end of the day, if you call them to try to recruit them, they will feel that you're trying to gain something out of them. It's very, very important that people like your friends are not feeling that you're just trying to recruit them to make money because you're probably new to the business. You're probably not making that much money. So it's important to break down to them the business in a specific way. So how that conversation will look like, super simple. Yo, what's going on, bro? How you doing? Good. How's life been? You still, going out every single weekend, you still being kind of an idiot, still hanging out with the boys, yada yada yada, whatever. Chat it up for 2, 3 minutes. Super simple. See how they're doing. Care for them. Then hit them with, yeah, bro, have you seen kind of the stuff that I've been posting? Have I told you about it? Now, let's be real. They're gonna say yes, or they're gonna say no. They're probably gonna say yeah. Yeah, I've been seeing it, man. Yeah, I'm surprised you haven't hated on me yet. Like, crack a joke, be funny. All right, so how are you having a conversation with your boy? And it's like, yeah, dude, the reason why I'm calling you is because I know that you would be so much better at this business than me. You should see the kind of money that some of these guys are making. They're making 10K a month, 20. I don't know if I even believe it, but there's this one dude that's making 100K a month. Like, yeah, I don't think it's real, bro. But think about it. If we could both make 10 to 20K a month, that would be crazy. I want to do this business with you. Are you open to an opportunity? And you just shoot them straight. And that's how the conversation looks. If they say yes, cool, get them going. If they say no, that doesn't matter. You shouldn't be friend, and I know this is crazy, but you shouldn't really be friends with anyone that's not in the business. If they're not in the business, they have no value to provide. I cut off every single one of my friends. I love them still to this day. I have no hard feelings about any of my friends. I love every single friend that I had before the business. But in all reality, I'm trying to get them in the business. And if they don't want to come in the business, I ain't going to be friends with them anymore. It's just not going to work. So my goal is to recruit them, but I'm going to hype them up. I'm going to degrade myself. I'm going to put them at a pedestal. I'm going to validate other people's results and try to bring them in. I guarantee you, if you call 20 of your friends, if you have 20, if you have two, call both of them. You will get people in the door. I've seen so many people do it. Now, in my opinion, you should do it when you're 2 to 4 weeks in the business. You have a better understanding, you're making a few sales, and you should bring people in. Okay. That is the simplest way to recruit your first five. So after this call, every single person on here should call their contact list and recruit them. Now, I will tell you, I didn't recruit any of them. I called all of them. Every single person I knew, I tried. They all called me a scammer, they all called me retarded, and they all tried to get me back into my old phases. Nah, that was not going to happen. Now, I've seen so many people like Andy, he fucking all of his boys, every single one of them, changes your business overnight. Okay, the second way is through social media. That is something that you have to have a little bit of delayed gratification. Everyone in this business wants instant gratification. If you can learn how to have delayed gratification, which in simple terms means put in a lot of activity, put in a lot of work, and wait a couple months till you see the results, you become dangerous in this business because social media is something that takes time. I started posting from day one. Most people are scared, most people are nervous. I had self-belief that I was going to figure this business out. Also, on a side note, if you start marketing to the world what you're doing, you will have so much more discipline to make sure that this shit works. The people that keep this inside, they don't tell anyone, they don't put it public that they're doing this business, they got nothing to lose. I'm putting it all on the line. I have everything to lose. Everyone around me is telling me I'm dumb for doing what I'm doing. That is the exact position that you want to be in because you have to make it work. Most people do not have their back against the wall. Posting on social media is a very simple way to put your back against the wall. Okay. But what do you do? What do you post? I don't have results. I don't want to post. I've heard that 1,000 times. Very simple. You need to showcase other people's results. You need to show your journey and you need to break down why you got into sales. People want to see, people don't want to see you just making 20K a month. They want to see you go from 0 to 20K a month. If you can post the journey, the entire sequence of your come up, it becomes a lot more real. It does not seem real if you're 5 months in the business and bang, now you start posting, you're making 20K a month. Dude, you are a scammer. You are for sure a scammer. I would not believe you either. There is no way I would believe you. But if I saw 5 months of you in the trenches every single day, you being transparent on the camera, saying you want to quit, saying that this is difficult, and then 5 months later, bang, you build so much trust and credibility. Okay. So that's how you want to do it. It's very, very simple. Let me pull these notes up because I had a few things I wanted to go over. Now, the second thing that I want to talk about is like how to take recruiting calls. Now, in my opinion, this is like one of the most important things. I used to suck at recruiting calls, like really bad. I used to call Ronnie and I was like, yo, so I was on this call with this kid. It was an hour 45 minutes. I was just walking around the pool for an hour 45 and like I think he's gonna join, but I'm not sure. He's like, why are you talking to kids for an hour and 45 minutes? I'm like, well, dude, I'm trying to recruit him. One call close. That's what you taught me. One call close. So I used to one call close recruits. It never worked. The way that you want to recruit people, very simple. It's two calls. The first call, I'm screening the kid. I'm seeing if he's a good fit for what we do. I am not really talking about the business. I'm only qualifying him and seeing if he's a good fit for the business. Is he serious about making money? Is he looking for just a quick check? I don't want that kid. Is he willing to put the effort and the work that it truly takes to be successful in this business? If I qualify him on the first call, I then send him the business overview meeting. And then the second call, I'm talking about the business. I'm breaking it all down. I don't have to qualify him anymore. I'm double checking that he's willing to put 12 hours a day in. And then I'm getting his test scheduled. Now, what's really important to understand is on that first call, you're going to suck your first 3 months. You're going to have no idea what to say. I'm going to give you a very, very simple framework on how I recruit. I need to figure out where they are. I need to figure out how much money they're making. I want to figure out where they want to go, like what are their goals? How much money do they want to be making? And then most importantly is what's holding them back? What's holding them back from getting to that position? Because recruiting is sales. It's sales 101 at the end of the day. You're solving a problem. We have to figure out what the problem is. Does the kid hate his job? Yeah, he might hate it. Okay, cool. Perfect. So I'm going to solve his problem to find him a job that he loves where he can work with all his best friends. Is he working a lot, not getting paid for it? Perfect. That's a problem. Now I'm going to show him how he can work really hard, make a lot of money. But it's important that you like really break that down to them. So we'll just run a play. Yeah, dude, what do you do for work? I work at Vaughn's. Okay, you work at Vaughn's, gotcha. How long you been working there for? It's been like, 2 years. Okay, I got you, bro. And like, do you like it? Do you hate it? Like, how's that been going the last 2 years? I mean, bro, like it's whatever. Like I make some money. Like I don't love it. I don't hate it though, but like I'm definitely trying to figure out how to get out of it. Okay, I got you, bro. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I used to work at a bagel shop as well. And dude, I'll be honest, I hated it. I worked with some of my friends, but like, dude, making 15 bucks an hour sucks. So what did I just do there? I related to him. He works at a grocery store. I told him I used to work at a bagel shop. I kind of hated it, but I kind of liked it because I was making some money, whatever. So I was him. I literally was him. Like when people can understand that you were in a very similar position to them, that's how they start to realize that they can reach your goals. And then I'm gonna hit him with, yeah, dude, and how much are you making a month there right now? I make like 2.5K a month. Okay, I got you. And how much do you want to be making a month? I want to be making 10K a month. Okay, I got you. And with what you're currently doing right now, can you make 10K a month? No, I can't. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah, I've never heard of someone that works at a grocery store that makes 10 grand a month. So you and I can both agree that in order for you to get to the goals and the results that you're looking for, you would have to quit your job, correct? So now I'm helping him understand that he has this goal. He's doing this right now. The only way for him to get here is cutting this off and finding something else. And I'm going to provide him with the solution, which is life insurance. That's how you recruit people. Then after that, I'm going to tell him a little bit about my story, what I was like before the business, how I got introduced to the business, and my results so far. And I'm going to tie it back into what he's looking for. Have him agree with me. I need him constantly agreeing with me. Then I'm going to confirm the schedule and how I break it down. I don't want to scare people right away. I'm just like, yeah, dude. So most people that, work with us, they typically work like 10 hours a day, 5 days a week. Most people grind on Saturdays, like, I don't know, 6, 8 hours. But I'll be honest and transparent with you, bro. I've been working 12, 13, 14 hours a day for the last 2 years. But that's also like why I'm in the position that I'm in right now. But given your situation right now, I guess like, how much time do you really think that you could put into something like this? That's how I break it down. I tell him what the average guy does, which the average guy, everyone at WealthWave works like 12, 14 hours a day. But like, I ain't gonna try to really scare him because I remember when Ronnie told me 12 hours a day, I called my mom. I was like, this guy's telling me to work 12 hours a day. Like, there's no way. But I saw the results that Ronnie had. So I was like, I'm down to do it, which is why I always break down what I do. Because if they're serious, they'll do exactly what I did. Then I send the video. Then the second call, I'm answering any questions that they have. And I'm really just breaking down the business, making sure it's very, very clear. One of the ways that people have a lot of people fail out of the business, people that see no results, complain, whine, and cry at the beginning, of their week or, their first month in the business, people lack clear expectations and standards. It's very, very, very important that you break down exactly how the business is. You need to tell them that this shit is going to be difficult. They need to understand that they're gonna put a lot of effort early on in the business and probably not see a lot of results. That way, when they do come in and they suck their first month, they're not whining, they're not crying. It's very, very important that you are very clear and you set those very, very strong expectations for them. That way, when they come in, if they don't see results, they're not whining and crying. All right, we're gonna get into some higher level stuff now. So, getting your first five, recruiting your first couple people is amazing, but let's be real. We're all trying to build million a month agencies. Now, you have to get to the position where your guys start to recruit. You have to taproot. I was a little bit nervous to, encourage my guys to recruit because I was like, I don't really know if that's something that they want. How do I have that type of conversation with them? But I also understood that, like, why would people not recruit? Like, they're trying to build their business too. Like, I need to help them build the business. So once you can get your guys recruiting, everything changes. Now, it's very, very important when you're breaking down recruiting to your people, it makes sense to them. Because what's like a lot of objections that people get, I'm just not really ready to sell yet. I'm just not really ready, or I'm not really ready to train yet. I'm still learning how to sell. I don't even know if like I'll be able to manage these people. I'm just gonna wait a few months. So I'm gonna handle all of those objections before I even explain to him, or like as I'm explaining to him why he should be recruiting. Because I'm gonna break down to him exactly why it makes sense for him. First thing, yo, bro, you're 3 months in the business. You've been killing it. How much did you do last month? First 30K month? No, that's amazing, bro. So you feel pretty confident with selling, right? Okay. Let me ask you, do you want to sell for the rest of your life? Like, let's say 5 years from today, you still had to sit in that desk, you had to call these veterans. I mean, would that be something that you would still want to do? It'd probably piss you off a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to fucking sell for the rest of my life. Yeah, no, I totally understand. That's exactly how I felt. Now, when I learned about recruiting, my whole mind about this business completely changed. Let me show you something real quick. And I'm going to show them the math. So you're at 100 comp right now. People start at 85%, which means you would have a 15% spread if you brought people in the business. Now, I'm sure you know five people, maybe 10, potentially 20. Let's say you just brought five people in, and let's say they were super, super bad. They sold 12.5K a month, issue paid, which, I mean, between me and you, we know that that is very, very below average. If you have five of them, you're doing $62,500 issue paid business besides you. You're going to keep selling. You're probably going to do 40 next month. You'll probably make 20, 25. But if you do the math, 62.5 times 0.75 times 0.15, I think it's like 8K, maybe 6K, maybe four. I don't know. I haven't done the math in a while. I think it's like 6 or 8K. So you're going to make an extra $6,000 to $8,000 just by bringing five people that are very, very below average. Very below average. Let's say the five people that you brought me first were freaking studs. Let's say they all did 20. Now you have a 100K a month team. You're now selling 50. First thing I'll tell you is bang. And now your comp's at 115. You're making an extra 15% per sale. Your overrides are also going up. So now you have a 20% spread or a 30% spread on your people. Do the math, 100K times 0.75 times 0.30, think it's like 22 and a half grand. Now you're making 22 and a half grand off of your team. Doesn't that sound fucking nuts? Yeah, that sounds insane. One thing I'll also say is when I started to bring people into business, I started to sell more. A lot of people think that when you bring people into business, you don't sell more. But the thing is, you have to sell more because now you have people watching you. You're going to stay a lot more accountable every single day. You are going to be more disciplined and you will infinitely sell more because there's people watching you. So your sales are going to go up. You're going to make 22.5K from five somewhat decent people. Who do you know that would be a good fit for the business? I mean, maybe like this kid in my frat, like let me like it may be him. Bet, let's call him right now. Call him right now? Yeah, dude, call him. I'll talk to him. No, like I like right now? Dude, if you don't call him right now, I'm gonna get pissed the fuck off. So like I know it sounds a little crazy, but like that's how you have to talk to your guys. That is how you have to talk to your guys to get them to recruit. I broke down exactly why it makes sense for him. He told me it like he didn't want to sell forever. I broke down the numbers, I broke down the math. But then second is I'm going to close instantly. I'm going to have him call them immediately. I don't know if I know anyone. It's all right. Just go. Let's open up your contact list. Make them get uncomfortable. If you can get your guys to recruit more, if you can get your guys to get your first couple of people, that is how you scale. Most people just don't ask their guys to recruit. No one on my team builds. I used to whine and cry about that all the time. Like I genuinely used to whine and cry about it because it took me like 7 months to find someone that was actually like, I'm going to start recruiting. My whole team was direct to me my first 6, 7 months. All like I had like, I don't know, 27 people, 25 of them were direct to me, like 6 months in the business. No one was recruiting. But I was also never really having those conversations with those people. So if you can like bridge the gap and do that a lot sooner, when guys are 1, 2 weeks in the business, 3 weeks they get their first sale, who do you know that would be good at this? All right, let's get them going. Like that's the conversations that you need to be having with your people. There are so many people on my team that between me and you, they're probably not at the level where they can train, but I'm getting them to recruit because they need to start building their business from day one. So if you're brand new to the business, take my advice and build from day one. If you have a team, if you want to double your team overnight, get your guys to recruit, but just break it down to them why it makes sense, and they will start to recruit. And then one of the last things I'll kind of touch on here is something, Ronnie, broke down to me a lot early on was that you have to never get complacent with your current team. You have to always be looking for your next guy. But you're not just looking for your next guy, you're looking for your best guy. So what I mean by that is I'll just break it down like this. My first year, we scaled, we recruited a lot of people. We had a very successful team. But my second year, I recruited way, way better people than my first year. My first year, we recruited a lot of people, we scaled. My second year, I got way better people, infinitely better. So what's going to happen my third year? I know for a fact I'm going to get way better people than I got my second year, and then my fourth year, and so on. But that comes down to me never being complacent with my current team. I recruit a stud, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, that would be amazing, but what if I got someone better than him? Okay, and then I get someone better. This guy's a freaking stud, but what if I got someone better? That was always how I thought. It's very, very important that you can never get complacent with your team. You have to always be looking for your next person. A lot of people ask me, "Hey, dude, I have a lot of people coming in. Like, I'm a little bit nervous on like how to manage them. Like, I probably shouldn't bring more people in the door, right? No, you should actually get as many people as possible right now." But I'm like really stressed out. I have a lot of people. No, that's exactly why you should get even more people. I want you even, more stressed because the more people that you have, you're able to weed out the people that are not serious. And then you focus on the right people. Like your job of recruiting a lot of people is to only find your people, find your studs. Like you're going to recruit so many people. But a massive business is built with like 5 to 10 people, maybe 20 people that are just all in. So my goal was always just to get as many people as possible and then focus on the people that are serious about the business. And if you can end up getting a bunch of people and then just finding your key players, those are the people that you pour in. Now, it's also important to go wide. Okay. So width is everything in this business your first year. I had zero depth my first year, full honesty. No depth. Like a year in, I had like a 16% like top leg. Like everyone was direct to me, maybe like 18, I don't know. Now year two, it's still at 19. So like we're gonna do, I don't know, hopefully 3 mil, maybe like 2.7 mil this month, and I'll have a 19, maybe 20% first leg, which is crazy for, the volume that we're putting up. What does that mean? That means I'm insanely profitable. So it's really, really important that like when you guys are scaling, you guys are constantly looking for directs. I see so many people have a couple guys on their team recruiting and they start pouring into like their guys that they're bringing in. They're so excited. Oh my God, like this guy's bringing all these guys in. Like my team's going to grow. Like this is so amazing. Yes, focus on them, build them up. Depth is important. But dude, if you don't go out and you get a bunch of recruits, you are not going to make that much money. You are not going to make that much money. Is it going to be a lot harder? Was the first year like the most stress that I've ever faced in my life? I got no sleep because these guys were calling me left and right. Yeah. But do you want to get rich? Yeah, you do. So you're going to have to take on that stress. You have to go wide. Now, once you get to your second year, depth is very important. Depth is so, so important. And it took me a while to realize, but like that's how we're scaling at the level that we're scaling at right now. But if you're less than a year in the business, depth does not matter. It does not mean anything. You want to be wide. Ronnie taught me from day one, and I will never, ever stop saying this wide or die. That has to be your mindset. I'm going to build wide or I'm going to die. That's it. The wider you are, the more money that you make. Now, if someone doesn't understand what width or depth means, being wide, having width is essentially the amount of direct people that you have. So if you have 10 people on your team, 7 of them are direct to you, 3 of them are under people, you have a solid little foundation with 7 people. If you have 10 people on your team and only 2 of them are direct to you, your first leg percentage is going to go up. You're not going to make that much money because those guys are going to go up in comp very quick and you're going to lose a lot of spread. I always wanted to maintain at least a 20% spread. Like that was my goal. I wanted to maintain minimum a 20% spread. There's going to be phases in business where you have a little bit lower than a 20% spread. But I promise you, if you focus on with your first year, you will have a very, very solid spread and you will be making decent money. And if you're not 2 years in the business, you don't need to be focused on depth. Now, I know I was just talking about getting your guys to recruit and getting them to scale. Depth is going to help you scale. But if you want to get rich and you want to make a lot of money, you need to be wide. Okay. Now, to kind of sum everything up, or I guess touch on one more thing, is my entire team is built through social media. Okay. People always say, like, I'm very good at recruiting and I'm able to, bring a lot of people in the business. And at the end of the day, like, my response to that is like, I've just been consistent on social media. If you're just consistent on social media, if you actually treat social media like part of the business, you will grow. You have to have delayed gratification with it though, because it is something that will take a while. It is something that you're going to have to put a lot of effort in, not see the results immediately. Now, I'm sure 75 of you guys are like, yeah, but like, what do I post? Very, very simple. First things first, you need to tell your story. I'm sure I could go on half your guys' profiles and I won't even know who you are. I just know that you sell insurance and you probably lie about how much money you make. That's what a lot of people's perception about people are. But if you actually explain your story and what you were doing before this, how you got introduced to the business, your results now, you become a real person. Okay. If you guys follow me, you guys know that I used to drink my life away. Like, full honesty, I hate talking about that. I'm very uncomfortable saying that. Like, I don't want people to know that that's something I used to do. The reason why I talk about it is because probably half my team used to drink their life away too. So they're like, oh, this guy used to drink his life away. Now he's doing this. I could probably be in the same position that, he's in right now. It's posting relatable content. It's very important that the people that are watching you can relate to you in some sort of way. I'm sure, like most of you, like me, when I was, 18, 19 years old, like I saw all these people living crazy lives and like I just never thought I was going to be smart enough or skilled enough to be in their position. But when I started watching people that were in my current position that I'm in right now, and then now they're, very successful, I started to build a little bit of self-belief within myself that I could end up getting there. Because if people view you as like the super genius that just got lucky or figured it out, whatever it is, like they're not gonna feel that like you can help them get to where like they want to go. But if they can relate to you, they can understand where you were at before this, people will start coming in. So if your Instagram isn't, if there's no post about what you were doing before this, if there's nothing about your story, then, people are just not going to really trust that they can get to the position that you're currently in. They're going to feel that you're, special in some sort of way. Second is you need to post proof. Okay. I never posted bank deposits probably my first 7 months. And a lot of people have different viewpoints on this. This is something that I have a very strict viewpoint and I feel that you should do it. But there's a lot of people that don't do it and see results. I'm gonna tell you what I do, okay? I post my bank deposits, not because I'm trying to flex, not because I want people to know how much money I'm making. If it was a perfect world, I would love for no one to know how much money I make. Like that's what I wish it was. But like I'm trying to build a business and I'm gonna post proof and I'm gonna make it very clear on how much money I'm making. So people see like, oh damn, like he actually is breaded up. He's actually, making an insane amount of money. So if you're uncomfortable doing it, first thing I'll say is that I used to be uncomfortable doing it. Second thing I'll say is the most recruits come from my proof, my bank deposits. Because you can't fake that shit. You cannot fake bank deposits. You cannot fake an Americo statement, an Ethos portal. I just posted my Ethos portal like a few days ago. I did not want to post that because that shit was insane. Like I've deposited like now with like 98 grand over the last 30 days only from Ethos. I did not want to put that out there. But everyone in insurance was probably watching that like, what the fuck? How are people making that much money from ethos? Builds trust. People see that I actually have real results, and then I can just duplicate myself. And then the third thing is don't show yourself, show other people. Okay. It's very important that it's not just you winning, it's a lot of other people winning as well. Because if only I was winning and I only talked about myself, he just got lucky and he just figured it out. But if I post that Kyle's successful, Martin, Matt Morrow, Shamir, Lavi, Travis, Jagger, Andy, Noel, all of these people, and I could go forever and I wish I could, but I don't want to, make some people mad. But everyone on my team, I love you guys, but all those guys that are freaking crazy successful, and if I can just market all of them, damn, like it's not just him, but it's this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. A lot of them are super young. Some of them came from, different stories. They live in different cities, all of this. Then it's like, damn, we have a winning culture. And people are attracted to a winning culture. People want to be a part of something where a lot of people are winning. And if you can market your team, it doesn't, I used to, when I didn't have really like, my second month, I had like three people on my team. Like I talked about everyone else that was not under me. Nobody knows if they're under you or not. People are always like, I just want to like post my people. All right, bro, like just post your people. Like that's fine. But nobody knows if they're under you or not under you. Post people within your organization. People are attracted to a winning culture. Those are like the main things that I wanted to go over. I know I kind of went up, down, left, right, whatever, but I want to open it up to questions here in a second. The last thing I'll leave you guys with is not really just like recruiting, but more so just like my mindset, like about the business is like, this is first thing I'll say is like, this is a very difficult business. This is a very difficult business. I'm sure like if you're brand new right now, or maybe you're less than 3 or 6 months, you see all these people at so many different levels. And it's very, very hard for, really anyone to believe that they can be in that position. You have to have the mindset that if someone else did it, I can also do it. Because I promise you, I know for a fact anyone can be in my position. I know for a fact anyone can be in really anyone's position. You just have to be willing to do every single thing that they did. Every single thing. Because there were so many days and so many nights where I wanted to give up, where I wanted to quit, where people left me and I didn't want to recruit, where I opened my first office and I called Ronnie and I told him I want to shut it down and I told him I hated my life. Like I've gone through every phase in the business. Anyone that you look up to has also gone through any phase in the business. They were just willing to get through the hard times. If you can focus on when the shit gets really hard, lean on your mentors, lean on the people that have gone through the stuff, and then focus on working the most. Focus on making the most amount of money on a day-to-day basis. It's inevitable. It's inevitable that you will get to the results. Some people do it super quick. Some people will take a little bit longer. Everyone has their own path in the business. Everyone wants to compare themselves to this guy and this guy. Compare yourself to yourself. You have to fight a battle within yourself. I'm just trying to be better than I was the day before. I'm just trying to do better than I did last month. And if you can do that over a long period of time, first off, it will keep your mind very, very clear. And second off, you will see the growth and you will gain more confidence within yourself. But other than that, I appreciate you guys hopping on. If there's anything that I can do for anyone, let me know. But let's freaking run it up the rest of the night. Let's finish this week strong, and I will see you guys all at Ignite.